Hey everybody, Paul Cram here. I have a ginormous stack of books right here, and these are some of my kind of all-time favorites and just books that I've read that resonate with me or have stuck with me or that I just absolutely love. So I wanted to share them with you really quickly. The first one is The Pagemaster. I would say this would be. I think this is relegated a little bit as a younger kid's book, even more so probably than young adult fiction. Like this would be even younger than that. But the Pagemaster is awesome. I don't know what the who cares what the age is on it. The Pagemaster is great. It's about a boy and he goes through each genre of books. You know, like fantasy and adventure and horror and each one and he has just kind of a little bit of a quest that he goes through with each of them. It's a fantastic read. It also has a movie with Macaulay Culkin. But check out the book. It's awesome if you have not already read it. And I love this one too, The Hunger Games. I did not read these. I actually, all three of the series in The Hunger Games, I listened to on an audiobook. And if you have not listened to The Hunger Games on audiobook and you've already read them, I would actually suggest going back and listening to them because the gal that reads them does an amazing job with her voice and just reading through them. And the story is yeah, I like it. I like it. I'd have to say, in the first one, I did. Oh, there's that moment with Rue. And if you've read them, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't read them, you'll know what I'm talking about if you do. That moment with Rue. Yeah, I may have cried. Uh, Harry Potter, The Goblet of Fire, is one of my favorites in the Harry Potter series. I liked all the Harry Potter books. I would say probably The Goblet of Fire is the one that stuck out to me, and I think it's probably because towards the end of it, again, I I may have shed a tear or two. Bone. This is a graphic novel. If you have not seen the artwork of Bone, it is so fantastic. Um, the humor in it, the humor in Bone is so great. It's so dry, and it's so visually stunning. This is like all of the books in one, but you can actually get the graphic novels separately and individual and in full color, and they're amazing. All I have to say is if you do check them out, drop me an email or something because I absolutely love Bone, and tell me what you think of the rat creatures. So that's all I'm going to say about that. This one is kind of a classic, The Far Side Gallery. Who doesn't love The Far Side? I love them. If you haven't seen them, you must have been living under a rock or recently born. um, Fable Haven. I actually grabbed this off the library shelf just randomly when I was in the young adult section, and I was like, oh, and it probably is because the cover is shiny, and I was like, oh, shiny thing, I should pick that up. And surprisingly, it turned out to be really good, really, really good. And I read the entire series, and I was blown away. It follows a brother and a sister, and they go on to these preserves where they preserve like fantasy creatures, and like regular people can't see all of these creatures. So um, I don't know, like if there was a unicorn or something, regular people would just look at it and see a horse. But you know, it's cool how they weave it together and how the author how he works with it. And some of it is so creepy. The woman on the cover is you see the knots down by her feet. Oh, I'm not going to even give it away. It's so great and it's so creepy how they handle the knots with the rope, and because she can't untie the knots. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that one. The Chronicles of Narnia. Of the Chronicles of Narnia, The Magician's Nephew was the one in the series where I was blown away. I loved all of them, but once I got to The Magician's Nephew, I was just like, wow. I would highly suggest reading them in the order that, it's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and then I think it's The Magician's Nephew. Do not start the series reading The Magician's Nephew. I cannot stress this enough. I hate whoever like restructured the order of the books. The Magician's Nephew, do not read this one first. You need to read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then The Magician's Nephew comes later. Because I've seen that they've restructured the order, and it's because this technically in the order of books, it technically comes before, but they weren't written that way and they weren't organized that way before. And for some reason, somebody's like, oh, we need to put them in the correct chronological order. Do not read them that way. No, read them in the order in which, I believe it was the order in which C.S. Lewis wrote them, but don't read that one first. Read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then The Magician's Nephew, and you will thank me. This series, oh my gosh, the Bartimaeus series by Jonathan Stroud is just basically all of these just make my heart just go, oh my gosh, because this is the first one in the series. It's called the Amulet of the Amulet of Samarkand. I can't even talk. I'm so tongue-tied. But it's the Bartimaeus trilogy. Bartimaeus, by the way, has to be just one of the most fun characters that I've read in a very long time. If you read them, you will hopefully see why. Again, the Bartimaeus trilogy is another one that I did not read. I actually listened to it on an audiobook, and the voice of the guy is so good, and he does so many different voices. It's so fun and so rewarding. This one is classic, The Alchemist. I think it's Paulo Coelho. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but The Alchemist. This one is probably one of the most. It's a book that has a lot of depth to it. It's a little bit of like an allegory. I don't know if allegory is the right word. It's one of those things where it's a story that has layers of meaning, and you can pull a lot out of it for how to live your life and those types of things. But it's also really, really good. It's a parable. Parable is more, I think, a more apt word for what it is. But it's fantastic. I believe that every person, actually, I just think everybody should read it, especially artists and people that are creating. I think The Alchemist is so rich in what it has to say and what it can give you. You know what? I'm going to stop there. Those are just some of my all-time, at the moment, books that just really stand out to me as being great reads. Check them out at your library, or go ahead, buy them, or however you like to get books. If you don't have a library card, there's so much that you can get at a library. There's so many audiobooks that you can download online nowadays that I would highly suggest going and getting a library card. So anyhow, if you like any of those books, or if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I am always on the lookout for a really good book, another good thing to read. Even if you think that I may have already read it, let me know, because sometimes I miss even like the really good classic books, and I always want to find more and better and keep on reading. So anyway, all right, I hope that everybody's having a good one, and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.